The Frozen North, Episode 38, We're All Gamers, Part 1.
Hello and welcome to episode number 38 of the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. 38, guys.
That's right.
Mark-
Not 40, Brian.
Mark, what percentage is that from 1?
Let me get my calculator out.
Percentage from 1?
Yeah, remember how we did 2 and he said that we've done 100% more episodes? I'm trying to keep the tradition going and seeing where his math lies.
Yeah, remember when you did that on episode 2?
Yeah.
And we've been doing it ever since, apparently?
Yeah.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, I don't remember it either.
I'm bringing it back.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have a couple of new voices on the show today. By the way, my name is JJ.
My name is Mark.
What?
That's it?
Good God.
That's all you got?
Howdy, y'all!
Yeah. Sorry about that.
My name is Ears Are Bleeding.
You made me do it.
I did.
We have the same name.
Yeah.
My ears are bleeding too.
We're all, Ears Are Bleeding. Mark, thanks. I have to now
Very much.
call my ear doctor.
As you can see, we have,
You can't see it.
as you can see, we have a few new voices on the show today.
You can hear,
As
not
you can
see.
hear. Sorry.
Ugh.
We have a couple of new voices on the show. We have two guests, Katie and Rachel, also known as Terra and Lightning from Terra and Lightning's RPG Roundup. Ladies, what's going on?
We have a podcast called Terra and Lightning's RPG Roundup, as you just heard. We release an episode about every month, give or take a couple of weeks. Yeah, we're working on Xenogears right now. And we're going to do the Final Fantasy V 4-job fiesta coming up. You guys heard of that?
I have, yes.
I have not. Enlightened me.
You donate to charity, and what happens is that you play a Final Fantasy V game with totally random job classes. And with each crystal, you get a new job. So we're starting out with all monks.
Oh, wow.
So with the second crystal, maybe we'll get lucky and get a red mage or a summoner or something and take it from there. And you can pay to have another character. It's a donation kind of for charity. So maybe we'll have to do
children's hospitals.
Yep.
Nice.
Very cool.
Maybe we'll pay for a white mage.
And just so people know which voice is which, I'm Katie, a.k.a. Terra.
I'm Rachel, a.k.a. Lightning.
Perfect. Just out of curiosity, I know I saw that on a website a while ago. Where, if anybody's curious about doing that, where do you know where they can go?
I just go the random Final Fantasy V class challenge.
Oh, okay. Well,
I Google
perfect.
that.
There you go.
I would say that is totes cool, y'all.
Oh, my.
He did it. He did it. He did. You're proud of that, aren't you?
You know me.
That's nice.
You know me.
All right.
Yeah, it's 4jobfiesta.com.
Oh, cool. Well, there you go. Perfect.
People reach their goal.
I've seen that before, and I think the one that I looked at when some other people were doing it, this one dude had to beat it with I think he beat it with 2 dancers and some other jobs that were really tough to do, like 2 white mages or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would take forever. So I never really have done it myself, but I have kept up on it at least and kind of just been curious about it. So cool. That's good stuff. Well,
We're not below paying, and it's to charity.
hey, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's too bad we donate more and get something we want.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Well, we got you guys here for to talk about a little later on the show. This is actually going to be a 2-part episode. We're going to kind of talk about, in this episode at least, kind of girls and gaming and their impact and kind of address some of the stereotypes and some of the misconceptions that people have when it comes to girls and gaming. And then next episode, we're just going to do one big old huge top 5.
Oh, man.
So should be a good time. But we got to get some of the normal stuff out of the way first. So actually, why don't we start by talking about what we've been playing?
Okay, I can do that.
Brian, go ahead.
I have actually been playing just a heckload of WoW. It pulls me back in every time.
A heck load.
I wanted to say something else.
I know you did.
But, you get really mad at me when you have to actually beep me out. So, I've been playing just a quantum load. There we go.
There you go.
Even though quantum does mean small. And then also I have started playing a little bit of the Darkness on
I feel dumber
Xbox.
every time I talk to you.
Well, that's the goal.
Okay.
I've been playing a little bit of the Darkness. Started that. It's a first-person shooter on the Xbox. I guess it came out for PS3 as well. Checking that out. It's kind of pretty cliche shooter, but instead you have like giant demons coming out of you that you eat hearts. So, yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, you just run around, shoot people, and eat hearts. Story's a little bit The Crow meets any Godfather movie you've ever seen. So
Meets some demon that eats hearts.
correct.
Okay, makes sense.
That's about it.
Mark?
I've been playing the Destiny beta. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of buying it at Best Buy. It took forever for me to get my code. I had 2 double shifts and a male baby shower to go to, so I only got in about 5 hours of game time.
How is it? I'm
It's,
curious about.
It's pretty good. It feels a lot like Borderlands, but with tighter shooting mechanics.
Oh, she's talking about the male baby shower.
Oh, the male baby shower?
Yeah.
It was
I
terrible.
was talking about Destiny. The male baby showers have like the same stupid games that female baby showers do.
Dress up? Yeah, that's what he did. Yep, absolutely. They gave each other makeovers.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We did all that, and then we watched Jackass.
Oh, boy. So, okay, Destiny, though, for real. How is it?
It's a pretty good game. Like I said, it's a lot like Borderlands, but it's got tighter shooting mechanics. It tells a story a little bit better. It's got Peter Dinklage as like the main character AI sidekick who's kind of giving you all the story details throughout it. Can't argue with that. But can argue with I had constant connection issues. So like every 15 or so minutes I'd get kicked off the server if I was trying to play with a friend.
My brother said that's one of the big reasons why PvP is just terrible right now,
Yeah.
because it's like you shoot a guy and then the hits. Like it's the lag right now is
It is a
very
beta
bad.
though. I
Yeah,
can't
absolutely.
complain too much. That's the point of me. That's why I got to play it early, is because
Right.
they're fixing it. So
Should have gotten it on PS4.
man, I don't know. I don't even. I don't own a PS4.
How about that?
I'm not
Hey, what happened?
$60 or $460.
It would be on a PS4, though.
Xbox One, I take it.
Yep,
Yep.
asymmetrical thumbsticks.
Keep in mind, this guy went to a male baby shower, so
A maybe
that,
shower. He went to a
man,
maybe shower.
That does explain a little bit there. So
A maybe shower.
Yeah, I like to mix words up to make it easier to say. So male baby shower, maybe shower. Let's just use that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everyone got that.
I think there should be male baby showers.
Well, yeah.
I think so.
Well,
I assume.
I basically told these two if they ever invited me to a male baby shower, I'm out. Out.
me, I've been playing Tales of Vesperia like crazy. I am so in love with that game. It's great, and it just takes a lot of the things that the Tales games do right, and it puts it into that one nice, neat little package. And I mean, I've talked about it a handful of times already.
Kyle and I actually watched the sequel anime to it.
Prequel.
Really cool. A prequel, yeah. Prequel. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It made me even more excited to
Yeah.
play it when I saw that. And then I started doing the solo campaign for Hearthstone came out, and I did that, and I beat the first wing. Not too tough, but it was a fun little adventure. And then you do the class quests, which are kind of cool. And other than that, I mean, really not much else. That's about it. Girls, what you been playing?
We've been playing Xenogears.
Way too much of it.
Our favorite game.
No
We'll
such
move on
thing.
from that quickly.
Also, we've been playing Final Fantasy XIV in our non-Xenogears hours.
That's our antidote to Xenogears.
Yes.
It's your palate cleanse.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what we play when we can't deal with Xenogears anymore.
I hear you.
Actually, it's gotten easier, like, on Disc 2. I mean, albeit between the chunks of text, the dungeons aren't so bad.
Yeah.
And then there's more mech battles, which are interesting for me.
I just hate it all. So like Pokemon.
And I'm working on becoming a scholar in Final Fantasy XIV. Like, I just became a scholar, and I'm trying to get used to that.
We're going through every single dungeon so she can practice.
Yes, every single dungeon. Then otherwise, I've been doing, like, Skyrim and
Tamagotchi life, although I can just see the look on you guys' faces, even though I can't see you.
Male baby shower.
Oh,
We've already came up with a word for it, JJ. It's maybe shower.
I don't subscribe to your shortening of words.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying about the Xenogears, because how long did that take me to beat? 4 months? Because I had the palate
Something like
cleanse
that.
every time I got done playing it. I was like, oh, God, I have to play
How many
something
hours?
else. How many what?
Hours.
How many
many
hours?
78. It was almost 80 when I got done. I didn't use a guide, so I kind of was just, exploring.
We're at 52. I think we've got 2 or 3 dungeons left.
Solid. And man,
Nice.
it is such a great game too.
You don't let you keep thinking that.
Don't laugh, it's good. Man,
Help it.
everybody has their own opinions. It's just, that you guys are wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna edit your sentences together to be like, Xenogears is great. We love it.
Nuh-uh.
Do that. I will send hate mail your way.
To Brian?
Boom. No,
And then
not to me.
I will change the words to say Brian.
I
It's
am
gonna be great.
likable. I'm a likable gentleman.
Okay, so is that pretty much both of you guys been playing the same games for the most part?
Pretty much, yeah. We tend to overlap.
Well, except for Skyrim and Tamagotchi. That's been kind of
yeah,
my own
that's been just
solo
her.
endeavor.
You know what? I specifically remember you mentioning another game that you played recently. I believe it was called Cooking Mama.
Oh my god. It's the worst game ever. This is why
Even worse
women
than
don't
Xenogears?
buy video games, because the stuff that is marketed to them is crap.
Oh boy, yeah, I had to bring that up as soon as I heard you talk about it. All right, so
Bring that up.
sorry, I just couldn't resist.
Xenogears. That's why you brought it up.
That's revenge.
It is absolutely. Every time you say something bad about Xenogears, I'm going to just shout out Cooking Mama.
That sounds like a fun game. I want to play it.
I have no doubt.
Gears.
I'm not going to make Mark and Brian do their shameless plugs today.
Well, I can
don't
see
worry.
it,
You
so
nailed it last time. What are you relieved about?
I can see it, so that would be very nice if you did that for me.
If you would like to shoot us an email or communicate with us in any way, shape, or form, we have plenty of opportunities to do so. You can email us at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at fngaming.net. Our Facebook is at facebook.com/thefrozennorth. We have a Twitter at FNPodcast. And actually, just to remind everybody, once we hit 100 Twitter followers, we are going to be doing another contest. And this is one that Mark is scared to death to do.
Yeah, don't subscribe
It's
to
gonna
our
be awesome.
Twitter at FN Podcast.
Please do. Please do.
And we're close. What are we at? 90?
Like 93 last time I
93,
checked,
94?
but it goes up and down.
Very cool. And we have a blog at frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. And always, please subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
So, Brian, what you got for news?
All right, guys. First business of news is about the Microsoft layoffs you all heard about. Bloomberg is reporting that Microsoft is gearing up for its largest round of layoffs since the year 2009. In 2009, I believe they lost around 6,000 jobs. A lot of this, people are thinking that, no, it's Microsoft, they're failing. It's not actually that accurate. They actually acquired Nokia, and they had 30,000 employees. So just to streamline everything, Microsoft's actually making a lot of cuts. There's going to be a lot of crossover cuts. I think their cloud-based service, they're getting a lot of cuts. Also, their mobile integration team's getting a lot of cuts. So, yeah, Microsoft doing some layoffs. Sad to hear for people losing their jobs, but it's capitalism. Yay! Got to make the money.
That's the biggest thing, is that it really has virtually nothing to do with their gaming, but everybody hears Microsoft and they're like, oh, Xbox.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
well,
it's
no.
got
They
most of
cut the teams that were going to do all that weird, like Xbox is now a television network or
Yes,
whatever.
they cut the network down pretty substantially. They're still doing the Halo feature, which is good news for people like me who like Halo. But, they are losing a lot of workers, but not necessarily due to the fact that they are struggling, because as we'll see later on in the newscast, they did have some good numbers. But moving on to the next headline, if you head over to Humble Bundle, Square Enix is featuring one right now. It's got a lot of. I actually own most of these games, so I didn't actually partake. But they are offering quite a bit. They're offering multiple games from Deus Ex, Hitman franchise. It's user-determined pricing, so we talked about Humble Bundle a while ago, but you basically pay what you want, and you get a swath of games. All bundle buyers receive Steam redeemable Windows versions of Hitman, Hitman 2, Daikatana, and Thief Gold, Mini Ninjas, and Anachronox. If you toss in a bit more bucks, when I had done this article, it was about $6. You'll actually get Deus Ex Invisible War, Deus Ex The Fall, Hitman Absolution, and Battle Stations. And if you want to go ahead and pay the $14.99 price, they'll throw in Deus Ex Game of the Year, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Kane & Lynch 2, Dog Days, Just Cause 2, and Lara Croft and the Guardian of the Light. So yeah, head over there, check it out. It's going on until August 5th. So if you like those games, and there are a lot of good games in that bundle, so if you don't own them, this is a great chance to get them very cheap. Moving on, how do you guys feel about that? The bundle. I mean, it's a good bundle.
Bundles are always great,
Yeah.
regardless, because they're cheap, and even if the games are terrible, it's still cheap.
Absolutely.
But these are not terrible games.
No, these are all very solid.
So.
In there. Our next bit of news, good news or bad news, depending on your feelings. Looks like EA's retooling. Why did I just get chipped?
How do I feel about that? It wasn't you. It was the article.
I'm just saying. We've talked about this. Our generation's kind of course to the whole mobile gaming, but EA has been retooling to go mobile, and it looks like it is starting to pay off. That last quarter, they actually did bad, but that was before their full retooling to focus mobile gaming. And now their revenue's up 1.21 billion. So,
Did you say 1.21 gigawatts?
yeah,
1.21.
I mean, you guys. I mean, it's the penance of our times. I guess this is what's happening. Mobile gaming is legit, and looks like EA is making money off of it.
Yep.
As much as we hate
I
it.
wouldn't say it's legit. It's reality.
Well, what's
It's
the
not
difference?
cool because legit makes it sound like
we're not going to be those grumpy old men who shuck everything that comes our way that we don't like.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
when it comes to mobile gaming, absolutely I will.
But it looks like they're moving forward with that, and it's doing well. So good news or bad news, depending on your outlook. Next article.
Out of curiosity,
Yes.
just to cut in,
Yeah.
do you guys play mobile games?
I've started to dabble. I have an iPad now, so I've liked a lot of. Dang it!
Was that?
Yes.
Dang it!
What was what? What just happened?
I don't know. It sounded like I was chipped on your end.
Oh, I'm preparing.
Oh! I think it has.
Not you.
I think it has potential.
Oh,
No!
jeez.
Yeah, I do.
Get out of here! No, it has potential.
Yeah.
If they could make deeper experiences
That's what I'm saying.
on mobile gaming.
What do you think I'm trying to say? It has potential.
I thought
Yes.
what I heard was
You know what,
like to
Brian?
play-
People thought communism had potential too.
Well, it does have potential. The problem is it's run by humans.
It's getting
That's very true.
I don't know how to
agree with
respond to that.
Yeah.
Dang it.
That's very true,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yes.
Brian plays
Take
Candy
that
Crush.
because you'll never hear it again.
What?
That's very true, Brian.
No, I have insights, sir. But no, mobile gaming. I don't like the drivel they're pulling out right now. But if they just make a deeper experience for gaming and it gets more games to people, then yeah, it's great.
But I don't think EA is going to be the one to do that.
No,
Because
no.
EA sees we can put forth minimal effort and make
Right.
massive amounts of money.
Yeah.
It's going to be some indie that has a great idea that eventually does it.
Crap. Correct.
There's so many console games out there where there's so much more to do.
Well, and you're right, and I think that they're trying to cash in on the whole affordable game. You know, you already have an iPhone, you already have your Samsung, whatever, what have you. So it's hey, pay $5 and play a game. Right now, the games are just not worth it.
They're shallow.
They're shallow, as you'd expect for paying $5. But I feel like if companies start to decide that maybe we'll put a deeper experience in there, it has potential. But right now, it's blech.
There you go. There you have it. Brian's review.
Yeah, blech. All right. Next article. It's not really much news. More of if you like Mega Man, go check out Mighty Number 9. They've released new footage, and it looks. If you're a Mega Man fan like I am, as to paraphrase Mark, hoo-wee!
That's right.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It looks really good. Very beautiful textures, and it's a 2D side scroller. So JJ will hate it.
Not if it's like Mega Man. No
which
way,
is
man.
like a 2D side scroller. God,
Mega Man was awesome. I think we've established that most of the games I like are based on nostalgia. So the fact that I love Mega Man and grew up with it as a kid means I probably would like this. So
Put your chip down, sir.
Mark has been sitting here with the same chip, just waiting for an opportunity. Jeez.
How do you girls feel about Mega Man and Mighty Number 9? Have you guys checked it out or anything? Is that in your...
I know a little bit about it from the news, but honestly, I only played the first installment, and that was a long time ago. Like, my age was in the single digits. I play mostly RPGs.
Right on.
Yeah, my knowledge of Mega Man is mostly, wasn't that like a cartoon?
It was a cartoon.
It was.
It was a terrible cartoon, but it certainly was. All right, our next... we actually talked about this. I don't know if we talked about it on the episode, but we did talk about it personally. But a Bungie engineer came out and explained why we can't play cross-platform Destiny. Basically, it has to do with the Xbox One being the lesser of the hardware, and this has to do with it all the time. If we were to play cross-platform on all the platforms, the PC would have the biggest advantage, obviously, and then the PS4. And there's always been an argument for shooters, especially, that the better hardware always wins the game because they have better hardware. They can see further through scopes, basically due to pixelation. That's basically what he explains in this article. Is that if they were to make it cross-platform, it would mean people on the PC and people on the PS4 would have to have their hardware hindered in order to make it even. So basically, you'd be playing everything on the Xbox 360's level, which is still good, but not to the power. So they wanted to let everybody have, Bungie in its full glory. And he said it just would be an unfair advantage for people on the PC or the PS4 against people playing on the Xbox One. That's to paraphrase. The article actually goes into a little bit more depth on the technical side, but I don't want to bore everybody with that. Basically, it has to do with if you're on a sniper rifle scope, and somebody's playing 720p, somebody on 1080p can see way further. They would be more clear. There wouldn't be as many.
It makes sense.
So
Definitely makes sense.
It's logical, and that's basically why they said they didn't want to even attempt it. So
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, JJ, speaking of mobile games and potential, I had a news article about Final Fantasy Record Keeper. We didn't know what it was at the time. We do now.
If you like us on Facebook, I had posted a link. Last week, something like that. To basically, it just said countdown to Final Fantasy Record Keeper, and it just had a countdown, but nobody knew what it was.
Right.
This is what it's talking about.
It turns out that Square Enix revealed Final Fantasy Record Keeper as a mobile game that remixes memorable battles from the popular RPG series. The game is in development by Dina for iOS and Android, and has players clearing dungeons that represent individual games in the Final Fantasy series. The game stars Deki, a worker. This is what I think is cool about it. You're playing as a Mog, basically. And you know how Mogs always kind of have that behind-the-scenes stuff in Final Fantasy. You basically get to go through all the games, retooled a little bit for, iOS and Android. I think it sounds pretty cool.
You don't get to go through all the games. You get to do some of the big battles.
Right. You get to get a little of the flavor of the game. Each dungeon is going to have a different flavor, for each game.
But you can mix and match your characters from each game.
That's pretty
which
cool.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I like that you're playing as a Mog, kind of going through like, hey, we got to fix this here.
But see, the way when you first mentioned it, you were like, well, speaking of mobile gaming, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I do not have a problem with this coming out. I think it sounds cool. I would love to try it out. My problem is that it is coming out on a mobile platform.
Why?
I have no desire to play it on my phone. I don't own a tablet.
Right.
So, that if I had one, that might change my view. But I would much rather have an experience like this on a console or a handheld console.
Sure.
Or even my PC. I don't like controls on my phone, especially when you have to actually move.
Right.
And they put the little touch screen crosshair on there to move around with.
Yep.
I hate that thing.
Well, the last bit of this news, and you guys will love this. Final Fantasy.
Can I?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and jump in.
Actually, I would agree with that because the mobile screens in most cases are so small. I would honestly rather play something on a handheld if I can. I don't care how many weird looks I get if I'm playing it on a DS. I don't know. It's just that kind of stuff is better for handhelds, in my opinion. Although phone screens have been getting larger and larger.
That is absolutely
recently.
accurate.
They are.
It'll be the size of my purse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Brian's too.
Yes.
No, but the
a Merce?
His
man purse. It's a satchel. No, I really don't have one. I have a backpack.
You have a fanny pack. Don't even lie.
I do not. It's a backpack. It says Java on it.
Sorry, a manny pack. But
It's
no,
a Java backpack.
like when they put that crosshair on there, they put it on the touchscreen, and they usually put it right on top of the overlay.
that may not be how this is, though.
Well, then they would have to cut the screen down
Why?
because you've got to have the crosshair on there somewhere.
What if you move by touching? Where you want to go?
It's the same thing. I don't want to touch the screen because then I'm blocking the screen with my hand. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, the last,
Okay. All right, you got me there.
The last part of this makes me cringe. I mean, I have a tablet, so I'm definitely going to pick it up and play it. But the last part of this makes me cringe, and it always does. It is going to be supporting microtransactions. So we'll see how heavy.
Oh no!
We'll see how heavy that is in it. Like, if you want to play against Kefka, please pay $6.99. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
that's
so
the
basically
only.
we're gonna
No,
have
thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
we're gonna have Cloud and Lightning, and then everybody else. It's like, you want to play as Locke? Pay us this. You want to play as Terra?
Right.
Unlock it.
I mean,
this.
that could be how it is. My personal feeling on microtransactions is that they are dumpster fires, and you should never put out content that you also have to pay for other content. It's like, you give me the content, and if you want to package like an expansion, fine. But why would I have to buy additional characters when that's how you made your game? I don't know. We'll see. Microtransaction already turns me off pretty greatly on this, but
definitely.
it does have that Final Fantasy.
That's unfortunate because it sounds like it could be kind of cool.
Sure. But like I said, EA is making bank on the whole mobile transaction micro stuff. So
Of course they are.
other companies will indeed follow suit, because what is capitalism other than copycats?
Yep.
Anyway, the last piece of news is when Microsoft debuted the Connectless Xbox One, they did indeed see a huge, and when by huge I mean doubled their sales in the U.S. Monthly. So it looks like that people were just kind of, and I want to say that's probably more due to the fact that it's just cost less to do, but I think it kind of speaks volumes for people not finding value in the Kinect.
Yep.
So
I'm thinking about getting one myself now.
And that's
an
what
Xbox One.
That's exactly what I said. As soon as they removed the Kinect, I was like, well, looks like it's going to come down to when the Master Chief Collection releases.
Which is pretty soon.
Yeah, so they did a good
When is
thing.
that?
I think it's this fall, this
yeah.
winter, maybe.
Yep. Because I told JJ's been wanting me to get a PS4, and I've still been on the fence. And as soon as I was definitely leaning PS4 until they, Microsoft was like, yeah, that Kinect is a piece of crap. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can decide, because the Kinect was deciding for me. So, yep, that's our news for this week. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I did.
All right.
Any other PS4 owners out there?
I want to get one. I will be.
My brother has one, and I played it, a lot. So I guess
He's also watched his brother play it. Go
I
figure.
actually have watched him play it.
Hey, now, there's nothing wrong with watching your brother play video games. That's how I got interested.
Thank you. Well, I was always a bro gamer back in that day, and Kyle was always a RPG nut, and he played all of them. And I was like, I don't have time to play those story-based games, guys. I gotta get my KDR up, so I had to watch him. So,
Oh boy.
I was a jock back in high school. I apologize for nothing.
All right, it's actually true. If you look at pictures from you back then,
I was
to now,
a muscle-bound jock. Yeah,
you went from like AC Slater to Uncle Fester.
absolutely.
It's pretty impressive.
Now,
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. I have a beard and a bald head, and it is, yeah, I'm loving it.
All right. Anyways, but I like you like a fat kid likes cake.
I feel like
so-
my hair left me after that the 2 years where I had frosted tips, a la Backstreet Boys, and my hair was like, yeah, not gonna do it anymore. Not gonna do it, and it just left. But then I grew a massive beard, and I loved it.
There you go.
All right.
can you frost the tips of your beard?
No. Back in high school, I had like the spiky Backstreet Boy hair.
I'm just saying, like, could you do that now? Maybe.
Oh, I could. Oh my! But then, what if my beard leaves me? I
That
couldn't
gives me
handle that.
such a great
Well-
idea for that contest.
Oh, God.
I'll blonde my beard.
I'll blonde my beard.
The heck yeah!
I can't mention it on the show though. Dang it. All right. So your beard isn't as glorious as it once was, though.
And no, I had to
Yeah,
start.
what happened?
I was Heather and I have been going on a lot of walks, and we went on like a 5-mile walk, and it was probably like 1,000 degrees outside, and I was like,
All of
my
a sudden-
face is hot.
The birds that were living inside of it,
Yeah.
you know.
So I
we're
shaved
finally
it.
like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for news. We're going to go ahead and move on now. We talked about the contest, 100 Twitter followers. All right. Let's talk about girls and video games.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Yay.
All right. That reaction right there. So,
We're gonna do a quick disclaimer. We're just two people. We do not represent every single female gamer out
right.
there.
We just happen to be girls who like games.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I want
Right
to make a disclaimer as well that we represent all men.
We do indeed. Thank you,
We'll
Mark.
see about that.
Yeah.
When he says we, he means him and Brian, because I certainly am not going to stand
Because
by
he is certainly not a
on
man.
that. He's- Maybe shower?
All right. Oh.
All right, so, ladies, first question up. As far just kind of a little background on the both of you, we talked about your show a little bit when we first got on. You know, you guys essentially you talk about RPGs. I mean, and just you go into ridiculous depth when playing those games, like much more than we do pros, cons, and whether we recommend it or not, and call it a day. You guys literally like follow the story, the characters, the battle system, the music, from point A to point B, and just cover everything, which honestly is one of the reasons that I love your show so much, because I get all that info. Most of the time, I try to like, I mean, you do go into spoilers sometimes, but I think like I've never been discouraged from playing a game because of hearing those spoilers. If that makes sense.
Xenogears.
We actually have a reason for that, believe it or not. One thing that I listen to a lot of spoilerific podcasts on my own about RPGs, and sometimes what gets me to buy a game, it's the spoilers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, definitely. And
Otherwise, I'd be meh.
Well, and especially with like RPG story-based games, you don't always get a lot of information from the marketing about the actual storyline. Like, you typically have to go find people who have played the game to find out, like, is this something that I'm actually going to be interested in playing out?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Okay, well, so other than your show, as far as you both personally, like, how long have you been playing video games, and what's your favorite genre?
All right, I guess I'll go first. I've been playing, I guess, since I could hold a controller. I can't exactly remember when, maybe 3, 4. I played Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. That darn dog taunting me.
He's an evil dog.
He's very evil. I'm going to get an NES and a Zapper just so I can play Duck Hunt. Let's put it that way. Anyway, I branched out more into RPGs later. I watched my brother play a lot of games, and I think that's how a lot of women get into gaming. They watch their brothers playing.
Well, and that's
To be honest.
I think that's a shame that games back then were marketed only to boys, and the girls were kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so you had to watch. I think it needs to change to where you're just interested in games because you're interested in games, not because, well, there's that there's that character who looks like a stereotypical model woman that is geared towards men who's wearing nothing. And
now they have
flipping
Cooking
around.
Mama and Nintendogs.
Well, it's still but it's still marketed terribly. Like I've always thought that. I just want gaming to grow. I don't care if it's a man, woman, child, or alien or dog.
I will agree with you on the advertising because I read EGM back in the day, even when I was a kid, and some of those ads and the E3 booth babes, they really loved those more back then.
Exactly. I mean, it makes sense. They're trying to market it to a segment, but then they it's just they're pigeonholing themselves for no reason. They didn't have to. Like, there's nothing. Gaming started out to Pong was not gender based. You know what I mean?
People aren't watching E3 for the booth babes specifically.
Right. You're right.
Like, they're
and it's getting better.
unnecessary.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying the eye candy is bad. Great. Throw them on there, but there's no practical reason for it other than just the additional.
Well, and why do the booth babes always have to be female? Why can't we get
Right.
some male eye candy with those?
Here.
You really want a bunch of dudes that are obsessed with video games to be showing off there?
Well, if they've got the same kind of standards that they obviously have for the people they hire
That's
as
true.
booth babes.
I'm just looking
Yeah.
at the three of us
Yeah.
here, and I was like, "There's no way we could do that." Well, maybe Mark.
They wouldn't. They'd go to a modeling agency just like they do with women.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
not just like pulling random people off the street. They're going.
I have always wondered that, like, if you ask a booth babe, what game she
They're paid models.
I like Mario.
Yeah, they're paid models. It's just the way it's marketed.
Interesting.
Well, anyway, getting back to your question, I started getting into RPGs, Secret of Mana, Breath of Fire, Final Fantasy VI. I didn't play 4 until later on. I've been playing pretty much on and off like my entire life. Mostly when I haven't been playing, it's just been during really busy times in my life, and now I'm pretty much hooked back again.
Very cool.
And you?
And me, what I actually find interesting is that pretty much all of my access or introduction to gaming stuff has actually usually come from women. Like, it was my mom who got my sister and I Super NES, which we played kind of casually as kids. My mom who was into, the computer stuff, and so that my sister and I got computer games. And then it was, becoming roommates with Rachel that really got me into the more, like, hardcore gamer
It's the dark
stuff.
spawn taint.
It is, the gamer taint.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Very cool. Okay, well, I mean, now that we've gotten a little bit of background on you both and your show, I guess we can start getting into the main point of why we have you here. So, as far as the girl gamer scene, how do you feel about the current state of everything that revolves around that?
It is a flippin' mess, as far as I'm concerned. I feel like there's very vocal opinions on both sides regarding women in gaming. There's a lot of guys out there who feel like their man caves are threatened or something, and they just say that, well, these are fake geek girls, they just want our attention. And you had a bizarre theory about that, didn't you, Katie?
Bizarre, probably going to make some people angry theory, but I feel like there are some guys, some gamer guys who have been very invested in the idea of, I'm kind of an outcast, I kind of take pride in, like, oh, I'm not normal, and also have been kind of picked on, and so girl gamers give me somebody else to look down on. Or, oh, well, I've always felt like kind of a loser and always thought, oh, I can't get a date because girls don't like gamers, but now there's girl gamers and they still won't date me.
Yeah.
They're not real gamers.
They have to look at themselves and be like, maybe it's me.
Yeah, maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that girl gamers, and actually I don't really like the term girl gamers. I get why it's catchy, but it's also kind of...
Alliteration?
Yeah,
the alliteration. But it's also kind of like... But there's plenty of adult women gamers. Right. So... And I went off on a sidetrack, and now I completely lost my train of thought with where I was going with that before.
Well,
I think it's that female gamers are a lot more visible now, and they've been a lot more outspoken about issues in the gaming industry and in issues with fans of games that kind of perpetuate issues. And so then I think there's some backlash against that.
and I think some of the bad perceptions actually kind of comes from the media and marketing, obviously. What do you guys think about the frag dolls?
I'm a pretty big fan of them, personally, just because, I mean, I don't know about the whole group, but one of them, Saber, who I do actually follow on Twitch, she's really into board gaming as well, but she literally just goes on there and she loves Final Fantasy, and you can tell she actually is there for the games. I really don't know much about the others, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it more comes from the fact that they represent Ubisoft and the fact that when they do stream and stuff, they don't force them to play Ubisoft games. They are allowed to play whatever they want from any company, and it really is. I mean, at least in my eyes, from what I can tell, it is about the games on there.
Well, in my whole thing,
I've noticed a lot of the sex appeal, though.
Yeah,
and I see a lot of doting people like, "Oh, Siren, I loves you."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my whole thing is, I mean, I guess it's, I don't care what gender you are. If you're a gamer, you're a gamer. And you can't validate your game. Like, you can't be a girl gamer and be, I don't care if you're attractive and also a girl gamer, but if you start flaunting that as a tool, then I'm like, you're okay. Now you're going off on a tangent here. Let's keep it focused on the games, whatever. I don't care what gender you are, but
exactly.
If you start, and there are dudes who do that with other, not necessarily them being attractive, 'cause let's face it, most gamer guys are not. But the whole thing is if you're a gamer, be a gamer and talk about the games. Don't be all, like you said, don't be all cutesy and flirty and try to then also say, well, I'm all about gaming, because then you're basically, your words aren't matching your actions, and that's kind of my opinion on the frag dolls.
We try to stay away from that on our podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously we're female, we have female voices, unless we have some very wonderful technology. But
and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, if you're attractive or you have girl tendencies, it's okay. You don't have to be ostracized, because I know there's a big stigma with that of that whole sector. But as long as you're just gaming and you love gaming and that's what they're focused on, and they're not overdoing it or playing to that, then I don't have a problem with it.
I think it's the internet. I mean, that's,
sure.
That's really what all the issue comes down to, is
the dirt.
People get online, they have screen names instead of their real name. They feel like they can say whatever they want.
The dark, dirty internet.
See, and I think a lot of it comes from there are certain women, and I don't know, I might get some flack for this, but there are certain women who do use that to their advantage to get stuff. Mark linked me a Kickstarter earlier this week of this girl who said she wanted to start a YouTube channel and that she wanted to build her own gaming PC. So she was asking for people's money to donate to her Kickstarter. There was no info on what she liked as a gamer or anything like that. She just said she wanted to build her own gaming PC and start a YouTube channel. She had one picture on there of herself, like she was attractive,
right?
But it didn't make me think, oh, this girl's a gamer. It made me think that's a girl looking to get money from her looks. But absolutely, and I think that's
somebody out to scam some people.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think that because that does happen so often. I think that's where kind of the negative stereotypes. So if there is a girl who is playing, who is attractive, some people automatically think she's doing that, even if it's not the case.
Well,
like in the case of the frag dolls, I think perfect example. I do follow them. I do, like I said, Saber is one of my favorite streamers. She interacts with her audience and stuff like that. If somebody comes on there and starts like talking about the way she looks or starts making those kind of comments, they're out. She bans them just like that.
And that's your actions meeting your words. Like if you're like I'm a gamer, I'm all about the games, but look at me in this two-piece bathing suit. Okay, now your actions aren't. They're not coming together, because what the hell does a two-piece bathing suit have to do with gaming?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yes.
it's
I
like,
guess what bothers me is how Ubisoft hires them. I've heard rumors that they, make them send in pictures, and it seems like they're more interested in their attractiveness aspect to attract the guys. And let's face it,
They're a marketing tool.
Yes,
absolutely, I agree with you guys completely.
Sure. Then and you know what? If that is the case, it's unfortunate. But at the same time, like, I can tell you, at least from my standpoint and what I have seen, I got to give them some credit, because they do tend to be, at least, like I said, the one that I follow, Saber, she is all about the games.
And that's not just...
In terms of marketing tools, it is at least a step up from just, we hired this random woman to be a booth babe for the modeling agency.
Absolutely.
And that's not anything new. That's how females have been marketed in every media aspect ever. So it's now infiltrating gaming, and so we're starting to see it, magnified, I guess. But I mean, it's no different.
I don't know if I would say that it's just starting to infiltrate gaming.
True, it's been like that forever. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but that's how it's done throughout all the entertainment industry, and that's a problem.
I agree. Mark,
I'm not against them like doing Twitch streams or anything, and it's good that they can do non-Ubisoft games, because I've noticed that. That's what they've been doing. It's just the marketing tool that I don't like from Ubisoft.
I wonder if the frag dolls are going to do any playing Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I really do, like I said, I have a good time watching at least her. She does a great job, and it's just because I am such a Final Fantasy fan, and she streams Final Fantasy X. I mean, there's guys that I watch that do the same thing. Sean Widmer, one of our listeners. He plays Grand Theft Auto lately. He's been playing that a lot, and I go in there and I watch that. It's hysterical. I like to go in there for the commentary and that kind of stuff. I mean, if it's a good-looking girl,
you're
that's
in
a bonus.
there for the
Absolutely.
gaming, right? And then exactly.
No, absolutely.
That's why I want it to be. I want it to be about the gaming, not about all this other stuff.
Correct. There's been quite a few channels that I've seen where it's a girl who is attractive, who's playing, Call of Duty, and she is literally just like screaming every time she gets shot, or making just random goofy off the wall comments, and it's just like, what is the point of this? Do you even like what you're doing right now? No, I don't want to see that. Yeah, she's pretty, but that has nothing to do with gaming at all. So
and I agree that there are attention getters out there, especially on Twitch.
I think anytime, you're kind of on Twitch or even doing a podcast or something, on some level, some of it's for attention.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That's the whole point. That's how Twitch makes their money.
So, I mean, kind of going along with that, for the both of you, when people find out that you are gamers, how do they typically react? And I guess you could look at it as a standpoint, like when you meet somebody in real life, and I know you guys play Final Fantasy 14 and online. How do they react typically?
In Final Fantasy 14, I don't usually get much flack for that. Usually it's just someone being an idiot, and it doesn't matter whether I'm male or female. In real life, at work, I usually keep it kind of down low that I'm a gamer, and I just don't talk about it much. But I do get surprised, word does get around. One of my coworkers actually said, "Hey, have you played Persona 4?" As if, word had gotten around that I play video games. I'm like, "Huh, on the Vita?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No, but that's cool. You have a Vita?" And it was actually interesting to know that, word had gotten around and people were positive about it and asking me questions about games.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's prevalent a lot? That a lot of maybe girls are shying away from coming out as girl gamers because of the fact that they get too much attention and or, I guess, annoying attention?
Well, I don't want to seem like I'm trying to get attention from it. And that's why I keep quiet about it, except to my closer friends.
Right.
This is one of my major hobbies.
Right. Get it?
Yeah, I typically don't talk about it much, like, at work, just because I don't work with very many other gamers, but most of the time when it has come up, it's just been like, "Oh, so that's another hobby that you have. That's cool."
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Okay. Let's see what's next. Number six. Being girls gamers yourselves, do you have any gaming experiences, positive, negative, that you'd like to share with our audience? That you would appropriate that you would like to share,
or inappropriate? We're good. JJ, just
You
have
want
to
to
do
go first, Katie?
Yeah. Honestly, most of my gaming experiences, I think especially since the way I game tends to be, at home, not a lot of going out to conventions or stuff like that. So
That'll
lot of
change.
Well, yes, that's going to change. But most of it's, hanging out at home playing games. So that doesn't really give much experiences either way. But in terms of, like Final Fantasy 14, most of the positive and negative experiences I've had there, I think just come down to, like, a guy would have those exact same experiences with, somebody shouting at you to tank better in the dungeon or giving you a good job kind of thing.
To use some obscure move that you never use. As for me, I've got two negatives, although overwhelmingly my gaming experience have been positive, so don't think like I'm a downer. The first one is about Target/GameStop, and the second one is, JJ, have you heard about the WWE trolls? Should I talk about that?
We talked about it on one of our last
I know what you're talking
episodes,
about.
so
I know what you're talking about.
The WWE trolls? Okay. Okay, and the first one, I feel like I am treated a bit differently when I'm looking for games in Target and GameStop, like, or, "Can I help you?" As if I don't know what the hell I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sorry, I swore.
Who are you buying for today?
Ma'am, do you need help reading these?
Are you buying this for your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Are you getting this for your son?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was one guy in particular, just a couple of weeks ago when I was getting Tamagotchi Life, actually. He actually recommended the game, which I was kind of surprised about.
But we got to talking. Don't like that one.
We got to talking about, like, other stuff after I had... And I had these long conversations with guys in GameStop. I don't know why they want to talk so much, or maybe I do, but... Anyway,
you just don't want to know.
Yeah, I just don't want to know. He couldn't find Dark Souls 2 for me. And I haven't played either game, but it's pretty high up on our list, at least the first one is, and I like to I'm kind of a game hoarder. I like to collect my games and have them ready when I want them.
Brian and I are too.
You have a Mount Games as well then, huh?
Yep.
She just got a nice new bookshelf to display her
games.
We
nicknamed, my brother's got a Mount. We started it when my brother started piling up games on my my bar when I had an apartment, and I was like, dude, your mountain of games is obscuring my view. So now we've nicknamed everybody's
that. Yeah, it was
everybody's
crazy.
collection is now Mount Games.
Yep, that's how it is. Well,
Nice.
anyway, I didn't get my Dark Souls 2, and then he said, have you beaten the first one? And I said no, and he's like, you realize you're going to die, right? I'm like, yes, I understand that's what that's a huge part of Dark Souls.
Wow.
And he's like, well, why are you getting the second one? And I'm like, because I want it. Jeez. And then I went, and I was like, have you beaten Phantasy Star 2 then, since he wanted to get all cred, since apparently he'd beaten Dark Souls?
Wow. Yeah.
And he's like, I played it, but I haven't beat it. And then he went on to ask me if I've beaten Battletoads, and I'm like, this is pointless.
Just one-upping each other?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, have you beaten 4 games at one time?
Have you beaten do you know this obscure video game character? It's like, why do I have to pull up my gamer cred because I'm a woman?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think that's what really gets to, like, the fake geek girl thing is, for one thing, I think the bars move a lot with, oh, you knew that? Okay, well, I'm going to keep on asking increasingly obscure questions until you get something wrong or don't know something, and then, oh, now you're fake. You're not a real gamer.
Right.
And should I talk about the WWE trolls?
Do it.
You can bring it up.
Come
That's
on.
fine. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay. I was doing a duty roulette in Final
Desmiel
Fantasy
Darkhold.
14. Desmiel Darkhold. I'd never done it before. Thank God I got through, considering my company. I'm a white mage by trade, although I'm leveling up all my other classes. And I just so happened to have it that night at about 10 o'clock. I should have known better than to do a duty roulette. Well, anyway, there were these two guys, and I could tell they were partied together because they had similar names. One was a tank, and I think the other one was a summoner. And there was this random monk who I felt really sorry for by the end of the dungeon.
Oh, no.
These guys were terrible players, and I'm not saying you can't be a terrible player. I mean, you'll get better, and just don't be mean to people who aren't so good. Well, they started humping my character right off, so I knew it was going to go bad. I was wearing my best gear possible, but that included a pair of underpants, white mage underpants.
As is tradition.
And then I thought I was going to get something better from the loot, but I ended up having a bra. So then I had a bra and what turned out to be an underpants white tutu.
Oh, boy.
It was still better gear, though, so I kept it. So that got worse. You know, and they'd say all kinds of sexual comments. And when you're a woman, I mean, okay, I'm sure guys do this to each other. They probably assumed I was some guy at first. But they, when you're a woman, it just feels more threatening to you somehow.
Or it's kind of like, oh, okay, I can't walk down the street to the grocery store without getting leered at sometimes. And now in my fantasy escapism, I'm getting it too. Great.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we had a crapola of a time. The tank would run ahead, pull mobs that they should have been pulling because I couldn't catch up to heal them. Then I would get blamed for, not healing them in time. The summoner usually was off doing his own thing.
God only knows what.
Actually, we know what they were doing.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Because we had to stop for like 5 minutes or so while they could watch WWE.
Which is important.
Yeah.
And the monk is like, please, I don't have time for this. I have to go, please. But they wouldn't listen to him.
Wow.
But the best part at the end was when I killed the boss.
Everybody else was dead. I was here watching her do this.
The last boss, moi. I killed it.
You said wasn't it like with a stone spell, like the most basic
Stone
white mage
2,
spell or
probably.
something? Yeah.
It sounds like Final Fantasy XIV is getting infiltrated by the WoW crowd a little bit. That sounds very similar to my experiences in WoW and dungeons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, at the very end, the monk was frustrated with them because the monk and I had kind of teamed up, against them.
We're just trying to get through the dungeon.
Yeah, just trying to get through the dungeon. And the monk told them how to make friends, which was hilarious. And then I told them to be nicer to girls. I said, you don't know who's behind that screen. And finally they're like, oh, good night. I'm sorry, good night.
Oh, boy.
Have a nice night. And it's like, oh, my
Oh,
God.
Total 180.
Oh, boy. Yeah. That's
Wow.
unfortunate reality of the gaming culture, I guess.
Yep. I will say, like, I wonder, though, if a lot of guys don't even realize that they're doing it. Like, I mean, me personally, I talk to you, and
Yeah.
Brian, you and Mark about games, and I mean we can talk for hours about games.
Yeah.
I mean I've been on Final Fantasy 14 with you girls before, and we've sat there and we've BS'd about games like in chat and stuff like that. I used to work with a girl at my last job who I found out played WoW, and we'd come into work and we would do our stuff, but we would geek out about WoW for a couple hours while we were there and stuff like that. And I always kind of feel like I've treated everybody the same way when I find out that they're a gamer, because I talk to them the same way. But I kind of wonder if maybe unconsciously I am doing something different from one party to the next, depending on gender. I mean, I have no idea. All I know is my own experience. I haven't actually seen anybody, other than in online settings, because WoW, that happens all the time, and it's ridiculous. But me personally, I don't know. It's just always something I've kind of wondered. Like, do I maybe act a little bit differently once I find out that they're a girl or something like that? I don't know. So I can tell you right now, if I ever say anything inappropriate or stuff, just tell me to shut up, and I will. I got no problem doing that. So.
Well, once we get to know people, like we obviously like to swear. We're fans of swearing, and we tell bizarre.
One of the main reasons why I like your show, thank you, because I have to get my
swearing.
JJ suppresses my sailorhood, but I have to listen to your show, and I get like all the endorphins I get from blurting out curse words, because he just can't let me do it.
Well, and something I found really funny in terms of like gender stereotypes and stuff is when we were first setting up us guesting on your show, and you had the whole, remember, we're family friendly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is usually you'd think that it would be like the female run show asking the guys like, hey, can you cut down on the swearing stuff? But no, we're the ones who need to hold back here.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we're gonna have them on our show, and I'm like, have you heard their show? You don't even let me say damn.
Now you're gonna get bleeped out.
I know. I gotta get one in there every episode.
I probably won't bleep that out, just because if then it would make it sound like you actually said something worse.
Yeah,
you won't even let me say bleep. Oh man! All right, cool. Well, I mean, as kind of a closing thing, just for this first part, do either of you have any advice as gamer girls for gamers, regardless of gender, out there that you kind of just want to put out there?
Just be nice, be respectful. You don't know who's behind the screen. They could be young, they could be old, male, female,
they could have
a
some
disability.
kind of disability. Yeah, like I think the big thing is be decent to people.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Be excellent to each other.
Yes, and I would also
There
say,
you go.
like, if you're doing an MMO or something, don't assume that the default is male.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm actually, when I played Final Fantasy 11, I played with one of the people in my my link shell. Was I mean, we did stuff a lot, and I thought it was just this dude, and literally for like a year, I played with this quote guy, and we did quests together, we did a few missions and stuff like that. Found out later on it was like some 53-year-old woman.
Yeah,
and I was like, what?
That's
really
pretty common.
I had no idea.
My first WoW raiding guild, there was a little female gnome rogue. I can't remember the name. It was a 72-year-old man playing it. Sent us a picture over on the guild forum, and we were just like, oh, his name was Coo, C-O-O.
That's pretty cool.
Cool. But he got on Vent with us one time and was talking, and yes, it was a very elderly man playing World of Warcraft. It's an
Very cool.
Alliance gnome rogue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never
know. Yeah.
Definitely. Good stuff.
MMOs just are interesting to anyone of all ages and genders.
Yeah, they're
Well, and
communities.
also I think like video games they've been around long enough that like my mom's talked about when she was younger, guys she hung out with were like really into Zelda, and those people are in like their 50s, 60s now, and just because you're getting older doesn't mean you stop playing games or stop being interested in new ones.
Definitely.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to be a gamer for the rest of my life. I don't know about you guys, but
I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be 90 years old.
JJ, come on over, play this new game I got. It's great.
I'm gonna be the young and 4 or 5 years younger than you guys.
Yeah.
Coming over.
We're going to be 85.
You
You're
guys
going
will
to
be
be
on
80.
your walkers.
We'll be in
You're gonna
wheelchairs,
on
and
your
you'll be with a
walkers. I'm
walker.
gonna have the cane.
Oh boy.
Playing Final Fantasy in the nursing home.
That's right.
By then we won't have to use our hands to play, which will be sweet.
Mark,
That's true. Hey, that's true.
did you see
Just
on the
put
new
your Oculus Rift on.
Did you see on the new PlayStation
Oculus Rift,
28
like
the
12.
new Final Fantasy 86? It's great. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I
I
feel
don't
like
either. I don't know where
where
that
did my
voice
accent
came
come from? Hello, I am
that wasn't
now
even an
older
accent.
and now Russian. How are you?
Oh boy. All right, so that wraps up part 1 of our 2-part deal episode run. We are gamers.
Wow.
We'll be back next week.
Wow.
I didn't think
Hey.
that sentence through very well at all.
Now you know how it feels.
But thanks for listening. We will be back in a week with a huge, massive top 5. Thanks again. Keep on gaming.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.